Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Welcome back, guys. Last time, we essentially cleared out the castle foyer, as well as some leftovers, including Big Boo's Haunt, which I don't know if some people consider that a basement course or a foyer course, but in my opinion, it goes here in the basement. So we kind of already got our feet wet, literally, with the basement in the last part. But this part, we're going to get our feet even wetter. But before we do that, let me see if I can track down... here's our little mushroom-headed friend. If I can freaking trigger the text box. Takes a minute sometimes, don't you know?
Hold on to your hat. If you lose it, you'll be injured easily. If you do lose your cap, you'll have to find it in the course where you lost it. Oh boy, it's not looking good for Peach. She's still trapped somewhere inside the walls. Please, Mario, you have to help her. Did you know that there are enemy worlds inside the walls? Yep, it's true. Bowser's troops are there too. Oh, here, take this. I've been keeping it for you.
So, yes, conveniently, our mushroom retainer friend Toad is holding a star. One of three, actually. There's actually two other Toads in the castle that give you freebie stars just by talking to them. I doubt I'm going to do that voice again if and when we run into those two Toads, though. That kind of voice impression is a one-time thing. So welcome to Hazy Maze Cave, course number 6, or numero 6 if tú hablas en español, which is not the same language as Italian, but they do have some things in common. For those that don't know or are unintentionally or intentionally racist. And believe me, you're out there. You can deny it all you want, but I know you're out there. So anyway, we're going to go through the path of boulders, and then we're not going to go through the door like a normal person. We're freaking Super Mario, so we're going to do some wall jumps, and we're going to get a pretty well hidden star. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty well hidden. If you're playing Super Mario 64 DS, I believe that star is moved to be one that you get by destroying the boulders with a unique power-up that totally wasn't rehashed in New Super Mario Bros. You've recovered 30 power stars. Now you can open the door with the big star. Basically, once you get 30 stars, you are able to go to Bowser 2. I won't say the name of the level that he's in because that's kind of a spoiler, guys. I hate to tell you. Anyways, though, I wanted to get that star out of the way before we get deeper into the Hazy Maze Cave, because there is a little bit of exploration we're going to have to do here. Because there's one more secret cat power-up we can unlock. And I know what you might be wondering. We already unlocked the Wing Cap and the Vanish Cap. How could they possibly top being able to fly and being able to turn invisible? Well, if you've ever played a little indie game called Super Smash Bros., the original for the N64, you'll remember that they had a special boss fight near the end of the single-player mode, right before the Master Hand. If you remember what that boss was, well, we haven't unlocked that yet here in Super Mario 64. And there's a star over there. I know there's a star there. We will collect it in due time, ladies and gentlemen. But first, I believe it's important to get something else out of the way first. One of those being the introduction to our plesiosaur friend Dory. One of my favorite characters in the Mario series. Well, one of my favorite, somewhat obscure, but not really obscure. I think it's more so that the name is obscure rather than the creature, because obviously to get the last, or the second to last power-up, cat power-up in Super Mario 64, you do have to use the help of Dory. So it's possible that plenty of people know what Dory is, but just don't know the name of the character. If that makes any sense at all. Anyways, by ground pounding on Dory's body, he will, or she will, I'm not sure of the gender of the creature, they will lower their head, and you will have access to this secret path, which actually takes you back to the castle. This is a castle secret star, technically. Welcome to the Metal Cap Switch course, and welcome to the proper introduction of Metal Mario. Yeah, the second to last boss in Super Smash Bros. 64's single-player mode. More importantly, though, Metal Mario was also a secret unlockable character in Mario Golf 64 and Mario Kart 7. For some weird reason, they just randomly decided to bring back Metal Mario as a secret character in Mario Kart 7. When I first discovered that, I was instantly taken back to my days of being an 8-year-old playing the original Mario Golf on the Nintendo 64. For a long time, Mario Golf actually used to be my favorite Mario Sport series, believe it or not. In some ways, I think I'd still consider it to be my favorite, to be honest, which is weird because I don't know if I'd ever really like to play real golf. I would certainly love to give it a try sometime. I played mini golf. I'm sure it's practically the same thing. No, come on. Let's do it. Let's go, man. Let's just play golf, whatever. And yeah, you just get 8 red coins, just like with the other 2 cap courses, and that's how you get the secret star. It's pretty interesting, really. You get 1 star and you get the 1 cap power-up. Alright, so that's technically 2 stars, but we need to go back to where Dory is to get the star. I'm going to jump cut to save you guys a little bit of viewing time, though. See ya then!
Go.
Alrighty, welcome back to the place where Dory is. But before we get that star that we know where it is, there's another star you can get now that we have the Metal Cap proper. The star for this is called Metal Mario Can Move. Because what you gotta do is you gotta take Metal Mario and you gotta move onto this switch over here. Oh, yep. Not a whole, you don't really have a big window of time to make that. And even when you're Metal Mario, if you fall down a large enough distance, you're still going to get damaged pretty badly, to say the least. So, yeah, we're going to get that star out of the way, and now I'm going to jump cut to when we get the actual first star in Hazy Maze Cave. I keep trolling you guys, but I promise you I'm not doing it on purpose. Or am I? Alright, now that we're back on Dory's back, that's kind of a weird sentence to say, we can finally get to the first actual star in Hazy Maze Cave. Well, the first one that's listed. That doesn't mean that you have to do it first, right? I mean, come on. And that had to have been the laziest acquisition of a star, the way of acquiring a star I've done thus far in this Let's Play. We're on episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, so... Hey, since this is 70 stars, don't you guys expect this to be some 6+ part epic or anything. This is going to be a short Mario game. Not the shortest that I could do for a Let's Play, but still pretty stinking short. So I don't want to move on to another course right now because there's still a little bit more Hazy Maze Cave to see. There aren't any boss fights or anything, so I'm not really doing it for that sake. But there is a whole area over here, and we can pick the mission Elevate for 8 red coins. Sadly, that is kind of a time-consuming mission to do, so I really don't want to do that per se, but I do want to at least show you guys this area. This room is where you get the 8 red coins. You'll have to navigate elevators, and you also have to contend with Mario 64's archaic camera system. That's the best way to put it, guys. It's an archaic camera system. Not necessarily a poor or bad one. Archaic is the proper word here. But I also want to show off the Toxic Cave area over here because there's actually like 2 stars you can get here depending on what path you take. And I'm not sure which one I'm going to get because I often get these paths mixed up. Let's go for that door over there since it's like the most stinking obvious, right? You. thankfully, when you're Metal Mario, your acrobatic ability doesn't seem to be reduced all that much. And since this is going to be the last star we're doing in Hazy Maze Cave, I do want to talk about the boulders in more detail. If you get hit by one of the boulders, it takes away 3 HP, and you only have 8, so that's nearly half of your health. Speaking of which, we're in the area where the boulders are, and we're gonna do a double jump. Hold down the jump button to hang on to the grates, okay? And is anybody else reminded of the grate sections from Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3? Maybe they were inspired by that. Also, Mario moves really slowly, but still nowhere near as slow as Crash in Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. Oh boy, I can't believe I referenced that game in freaking a Mario 64 Let's Play. Well, it was relevant for that one particular aspect, and we are not going to mention it again for the rest of this Let's Play, alright? So now that we've knocked out Hazy Maze Cave, or at least as much of it as I want to do for this 80% 70 starter Let's Play, we're going to head on over to Lethal Lava Land because it's literally course numero 7. Again, if tú hablas en español. And for the love of God, if you live in the United States, learn some freaking Spanish. It's the second most prominent language. You'd be doing a huge disrespect to your Hispanic fellow Americans. Alright? You know, if you don't want to deal with the language, all I gotta say to you is get a stick and shove it up to culo, alright? And yes, I'm going to be very confrontational about that. Anyways, though, the first mission in Lethal Lava Land, you have to boil some bully. Yeah, it's basically like the only enemy type you run into in Lethal Lava Land. That and the giant eyeballs from Big Boo's Haunt. They're also in Hazy Maze Cave, specifically in the Red Coin area. But yeah, like 2 of the missions you do in Lethal Lava Land involve defeating a big bully. Again, it's the same kind of boss reused more than one time. Which again, it doesn't make sense why people don't complain about this when they complain about the boss reuse in Super Mario Sunshine, when it's nowhere near as bad as this. And I say bad in quotation marks because, honestly, these boss fights can be pretty fun if you know what you're doing. But still, I think I still making my point. Alright? Alright, so there's going to be these small bullies. They're not as bad as the big ones, obviously. The big ones just have a lot more strength behind their pushing, as it were. Kind of weird thing to say. But this being Lethal Lava Land, you're going to have to deal with a lot of lava. Anytime you touch lava, it's almost instant death for poor Mario, honestly. Fire for Mario is almost as bad as spikes for Mega Man. Think of it like that. Hell, in some Mario games, touching lava is instant death, believe it or not. And I don't mean a lot of damage like it is in Mario 64. I mean instant death. Man, every time I go back to a 2D Mario game, I often forget that. Like, oh, I'll get an invincible power star and be totally fine, right? Probably not. And, you know, pushing the bullies can be kind of annoying because you gotta time your attacks. If you're even a little bit late, they can get the upper hand on you. And yeah, the closer to the edge you are, the better off you'll be dealing with these freaking bullies. And this, I'm pretty sure this isn't actually the first bully mission. It's just, this is the easier one to access, believe it or not. So, yeah, we're gonna do the more convoluted big bully fight first. Come on, come on. Good strat is to jump and kick the bully into the lava. That tends to work out a little bit better than just trying to do a bunch of regular punches in a row. I find, anyway. But now we're not done with Lethal Lava Land yet. I knocked out the red coin star, and then we're gonna do that star, and we've got to do the actual first star, which is Boil the Big Bully. And you're probably wondering, how did we not do it the first time? Well, let me tell ya. It's just we didn't go the specific path. But before we do, not gonna fall into that trap again. Woohoo! Wow! Whoa, man! Let me tell you, this Mario 64, it can be a wild ride sometimes. A wild rainbow ride if you're not careful. So here's a handy-dandy warp zone, which will bring you over here, and as long as you're playing the original Mario 64, all red blocks are wing caps. And you can triple jump even at a standstill and activate your flight instantly. which is really nice. So, we're not going to do the bully right now. I want to actually show off kind of a shortcut, kind of a cheat that you can do to get to the star. I believe it's called Red Hot Rolling Logs. Emphasis because there's a rolling log over there. This can be kind of tricky to do, but basically you fly with Mario and the wing cap. Actually, I kind of fudged it up. I should have tried to reach further than what I did to get to the star. Well, I guess I could do that. Or I could just do that. And, yeah, get to the star that way. It's not the perfect way, but it'll do. But yeah, you can basically fly to the star with the wing cap if you do that a lot better than what I did. Hey, at least I didn't lose a life. God forbid you lose a life in Mario 64. Honestly, difficulty-wise, I would say Mario 64 is a medium difficulty game at worst. It can be made worse, though, if you're not used to the archaic camera system, though. And maybe to a lesser degree the controls, but I find that the controls of Mario 64 have aged a lot better than the camera specifically. So, I mean, you're free to complain about the controls, especially if you're used to the newer 3D Mario games, I suppose. But I don't think it's as bad as the camera is, comparatively speaking. And here's where the actual first big bully is. Well, boys, as you can see, it seemed like you went through a lot more hell. Kind of a funny thing to bring up before you get here, but yeah. This one, you just do the big bully into the lava and you get the star. We're not going to finish Lethal Lava Land yet, though, because there's one more star I want to show off. At least one more star. Because there's a whole nother area to Lethal Lava Land, believe it or not. And it's pretty expected for a fire level, I would think. It's hot-footed into the volcano. And we're going to try and do that. Let me see if I can trigger. Ah, yes, here we go. So, on certain missions, you can get this yellow block and activate a Koopa shell, which you can ride on. And yeah, this is a pretty great way to travel. And pretty easy way to get into the volcano, let me tell you. So there are 2 stars you can get here in the volcano. One if you go backwards, which is about as difficult as the one I'm going to do, where you just head forward and basically traverse up the volcano the traditional way. The other star involves a lot more navigating poles, which I'm not as big of a fan as just jumping with Mario normally. And thankfully, I don't think, even with the archaic camera system, that this is too bad. I mean, it's a lot easier in Mario 64 DS because you have access to other characters, one of which has a very broken jump ability. I shouldn't have to say who it is, but if you're a fan of the color green, then you'll know who I'm talking about. Yes, I know that narrows it down to 2 characters technically, but I mean, come on. Which character is known more for jumping rather than, you know, eating or whatever? You know, use your process of elimination, guys. I mean, come on. How many years have you been playing Mario games? Be honest with me. I'm sure it's a lot of years. Probably more than you care to admit. Alright, so lining up the poles here can be a little tricky with the camera. But again, it's not too bad if you take your time. And bada bing, bada boom, we get the star for the volcano. I guess I could get the other one to get a nice even 40, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the next course, course number 8, which is going to be Shifting Sandland. Yeah, we went from a fire level, we're going to go to a desert level. But where's the painting for Shifting Sandland? You know, this not so inconspicuous wall. Yeah, this is where we gotta go. In the talons of the big bird. This mission is kind of annoying. But, thanks to the fact that we can use a Koopa shell, and this one's a lot more obvious to track down than the one in Lethal Lava Land, which is, I think it's saying a lot, because the one in Lethal Lava Land is pretty easy to track down, honestly. So I recommend using the Koopa shell, because you can use the Koopa shell to get to the top of these towers, and the top of the towers is the best way to track down the bird. The bird's name is Klepto. You see, he's named Klepto because he steals things, and usually someone who steals things is called a kleptomaniac. I'm sure that's not the most obvious reference in the world, but I'm also sure a lot of people got it. And sadly, sometimes your Koopa Shell will just randomly fail. But I got really lucky with the RNG there, and I just got Klepto first freaking try. My god. Oh, and apparently I accidentally made the pyramid blow its top off. Game, you're gonna have to be patient because that's like 3 missions away here in Shifting Sandland. But yeah, for the next mission, shining atop the pyramid. Basically the star, this is a star that's already spawned. We just have to basically get to, like, close to the top of the pyramid. Not quite the tippity top. We'll be doing that shortly, though. Give me a little bit more time. You can do a backward side flip to get on top of this structure, but you can also do a triple jump. I find that the sideways flip is a little more reliable than doing a triple jump, because doing a triple jump, you always need to have a certain amount of distance before you can actually successfully pull one off, as it were. Oh boy. Yeah, the slope physics with the Koopa Shell can be pretty interesting, to say the least. Yeah, shining atop the pyramid, we're halfway through. Got 2 more. I'm only doing 2 more because the 4th mission here has the boss fight for the level, and I do want to show off every boss fight. Yeah, I think that's the first time I mentioned that for this episode, so just a reminder, this is a 70-star run, but I also want to show off every boss fight, and basically everything I think is interesting, and I also want to do at least 1 mission in every course, so that way everything gets its fair dues. So now we get to go inside the ancient pyramid proper, and I promise you this mission will probably take at least like 5 minutes or something. Yeah, I know, these missions are going by quick, like only 20-something minutes into this episode, and we're actually almost done with the basement. I'm just, this mission, the mission after this, and then like 1 or 2 missions, well, we'll be doing more than 1 mission in the next course after this, so it could still be a while, but it should be within my usual parameters, I would think. But anyways, inside of the ancient pyramid, it's a nice little platforming section, honestly. It can be a little tricky, especially dealing with the archaic camera system, trademark. Nah, I really don't want that to be a trademark, you know, but, yeah, and you have to deal with the hanging grate again, which, yeah, Mario moves through here really slowly. I mean, I don't want to bring up that game again by name, but it is kind of funny how people complain about how slow Crash moved in that game with the hanging grates, but Mario in here honestly maybe moves slightly faster than that. But, to be fair, the game that I don't want to name anymore was released 5 years after Mario 64, and there were other games that came out before it in that same particular sub-series that did the hanging grate thing a lot better and faster. So, there really is no excuse, fan lambs. Let me tell you about that. So, yeah. This pyramid is pretty nice, though. I want to say the 6th mission you have to do for Shifting Sandland involves finding 5 secrets in here inside the pyramid, and that can be a little annoying if you don't know what you're doing. But this mission right here, where you just get to the top of the pyramid, no strings attached, is a pretty nice little platforming mission. The calm before the storm of the boss fight, which, spoiler alert, is really not that bad of a boss fight. But getting into the pyramid to do the boss fight, that could be kind of bad. But we accidentally did it not too long ago, so it's not that bad. It just really depends on how things go. Let's see. Yeah, for that slope, as long as you keep running, you will actually eventually get to the top, if you're careful. Be careful here too, because you could fall off the ledge there. Alright, I'm glad that didn't actually take 5 minutes. It actually took more like 3 or 4 minutes, man. Mario 64 is so fast-paced, man. If there's one thing I still like about this version of the game, it is really fast-paced. Even the DS version is fast-paced, but they added 30 more stars, so that technically slows the pace down a little bit. But man, I can definitely see the appeal of why so many people like speedrunning this game. Whether it's 70 stars or all 120. Alright, so now we actually have to touch all of those towers all over again. Yeah, we accidentally did it during the first mission when we were trying to go for the bird. But now we actually have to do it intentionally, which thankfully is not too difficult if the stars align properly for you. Get the stars aligning, because yeah, you kind of need to do that. So get to the top, alley-oop, and I'm pretty sure I got to the top. But let's see. All right, the pyramid's blown off. Thank God. And just go through the hole in the top. And there we go. And we have to ride this platform for a little bit. Those coins on the platforms tie into the 6th mission. It's actually recommended to jump from this platform to those platforms, but we don't have to worry about that. We're just going to do the boss fight, and then we're going to be done with this level. After losing way more lives than I would care to. But stand on this platform. Well, I guess you don't have to stand on it, because here's the boss. I think this thing's name is Irock, or Gleerock. No, wait, I think Gleerock is the name of a boss from Legend of Zelda. Irock, yeah, let's go with that. So basically, there's these 2 hands, they have eyeballs, and you gotta hit the eyeballs to deal damage to the boss. Or you can slide into them, that seems to work out pretty well. I think they're like 2 or 3 hits each, or something like that. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say 3 hits each. But, be careful though, because it's not the largest arena in the world. They can probably knock you off if you're not too terribly careful. Yes. Alright. I'm trying not to dive into them because I don't want to be bounced back, honestly, because that would be a pretty annoying way to lose this boss fight, because honestly, this is normally supposed to be a pretty easy fight. But then again, is it supposed to be easy? Because this is like the middle of the game at this point. This isn't King Bob-omb territory. At least, I don't think it's supposed to be King Bob-omb territory. But there we go. That's Irock, and that's pretty much everything I care to show off in Shifting Sandland. Because I feel like if I stay here any longer, my life count is going to drop like a rock. And that's something we don't want. Alright? So, yeah, stand tall. I'm going to stand tall and move forward. If you get 7 more stars up to 50, the rabbit, whose name is Mips, will show up again, and you can get another Castle Secret Star from him if you catch him again. It's pretty much the same difficulty as the first time, so not really a big deal. But now that we have more than 30 stars, we can unlock this door. But we're not going to Bowser 2 right away. There's actually another prerequisite you need to do. And that's to go through this wall of water, it looks like. As we enter course number 9. And Shifting Sandland was course 8, or course 8, if you're speaking in Spanish. And this is course 9, or 9 in Spanish. Board Bowser's sub. You gotta do this mission in order to access Bowser 2. But there's a few missions you can do in Dire Docks before you even worry about this sort of thing. So in this little area, there's a bunch of chests that you can open in a specific order, and that will get you a star. And there should be a manta ray, I believe, around here somewhere. I'm not sure if I need to spawn it in another mission, but I'm pretty sure there's a manta ray in this first area that you can, you have to follow the manta ray because it spawns a bunch of rings. And you have to swim through the rings in order to get a power star, but for the life of me, I can't see the manta. So maybe it's in the other area, maybe it doesn't spawn in the first mission, I don't know. But you can open these treasure chests in a very specific order. I don't remember what the order is, it always seems to be pretty cryptic. Also, those clams will randomly do damage to you, like I don't get it. You go near them and they will do damage. But I think when you find the right treasure chest, you just keep going in like a certain order, and it's a lot like the treasure chests in Jolly Roger Bay. There's also like a vortex in the middle that's constantly sucking you in, which is a little annoying, not gonna lie. Oh god! Yeah, you just mash the swim button if you get too close, and you might be okay there. Okay, do I have to start all over with the treasure chests, or can I not? Okay, looks like I might have to start all over with the treasure chests. I could definitely use some more coins, though. Game, come on. Some more coins. Alright. But I do want to get more than the 1 star here before we move on to Bowser 2. Okay. So where are the treasure chests? Did I get all rejiggered again? Yeah, I guess so. So let's go straight to this one, which should be the first one. Right? Okay. And I believe the next one in the ground is correct. I believe it's basically you get all 3 on the ground level, and then you get the one that's really close to the vortex. That order would make sense, because, yeah, it just does. So, let's just do that. Alright, so far so good. But getting to that treasure chest without triggering or going into the vortex can be painful. For some reason, it shouldn't be this bad, but it is. Alright, good lord, come on, game. Come on, just behave. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, come on. Why'd you have to put the star near the shark? I'll take a shark over an eel. But god, that is just way too close for comfort. Alright. I do want to know why the manta isn't spawned. I guess, like I said, maybe you do have to do the first mission after all. I don't know. But yeah, the portal to Bowser 2 is right behind the water portal. Maybe this will spawn the manta ray? Possibly? I don't know. This manta ray is awfully elusive. Or, what? No, that's the shark. But I don't see the manta ray. It's so weird. Well, since our manta ray friend wants to be so uncooperative with not spawning, believe me guys, there is a manta ray here somewhere. It doesn't want to spawn, but it's here somewhere. We're just gonna move forward, and I think there's one other star we can get before we have to do the star for the Bowser sub. And this one's kind of interesting, the one that I'm thinking of. But we have to go through this tunnel. Swim through this tunnel a little bit. It's not too big of a deal. You get to listen to the music a little bit longer. Thankfully, Dire Dire Docks reuses the music from Jolly Roger Bay, which is arguably the best thing about both of these water levels, because the actual water levels and the missions you have to do, as you could probably tell, can be a little bit on the annoying side, just a little bit. I find that Dire Dire Docks overall is a lot less annoying of a level than Jolly Roger Bay, though. Alright, so now you see the metal cap and the vanish cap are right next to one another. Well, what you gotta do is get the metal cap and then do a backflip over the wall, and you can get the vanish cap and the metal cap at the same freaking time. How cool is that? I don't know if you have to do this, but you can. And if you do this, you're going to be able to sink to the bottom of the water, go through the fence, and get the star that way. And that's pretty cool, right? I think so. I think that's one of the coolest stars in the game to get. And the mission's called Collect the Caps. Funny how that works out. So I'm going to go back into the level, and I'm actually not going to talk so you guys can listen to the music for a little while, okay?
Let's go.
Actually, I just remembered another star you can get. So these rings that are jutting out from the bottom here, You can actually swim through them. You have to swim through them in a very particular order, though. But if you swim through 5 rings, as designated by the game specifically, you can use the metal cap to get another star that spawns underneath here. And if you backtrack to Jolly Roger Bay, you can actually get a star that's at the bottom of the sea as well, and you don't have to swim through 5 rings in order to spawn it. So that's pretty cool. So I guess we can knock this star out real quick, and I think after I get this star, I'm just going to jump cut back here to stuff, because it's only so interesting to see a player do the same path so many times. I know the music's great, guys, but, you know, we still got to try and keep a good pace over here, so I'm going to collect this star, and then I'm going to jump cut right back here to the sub, okay? Alright, enough with the delays already. Let's finally board Bowser's sub. So in order to do this, you're going to have to push on this switch, and you have to walk on these blocks. Thankfully, you have a very generous time limit in order to do all this in. What I don't like in this game is that sometimes if you're running really fast and you touch a wall, Mario will bounce off of it, which is something that doesn't really happen all that much in the other 3D Mario games, as far as I could tell anyway. Or at least not to that extent. But anyways, after doing the first mission in Dire Dire Docks, you have access to the second Bowser level, Bowser 2, also known as Bowser in the Fire Sea. In my opinion, this is the most annoying of the 3 Bowser levels to get the 8 red coins in. I swear to God, when I was recording the 120 star run, I think I had to redo this level like 5 times in order to get all of the red coins on here. Hopefully, this doesn't require that many tries here in the Let's Play, but I'm gonna have to set my expectations to be a little more realistic about this sort of thing. Because getting all 8 red coins in this level involves a little bit of back and forth, mostly during this early part. Because, okay, that red coin is not too bad to get, honestly. And this also thematically is going to remind you a lot of Lethal Lava Land, understandably. I wouldn't be surprised if initially this might have been an extension of Lethal Lava Land at one point in development. I wouldn't be surprised, because, yeah, this aesthetically feels like more of the same of that. Makes you wonder why they make you do Dire Dire Docks before Bowser in the Fire Sea and not Lethal Lava Land before it. Wouldn't that have made more sense thematically? I don't know. It's not the biggest deal in the world. And you also have some bullies here which can bump you into the lava, which, as we've established, is no good. And yeah, you're going to have to be a little patient too, because wait for the platforms to rise and fall. Well, thankfully, in this one instance, if you fall into the lava, you can actually get back to the platforms. That's pretty handy-dandy how that works out. And it's pretty easy to get that 1-up mushroom there from that pole, because the 1-up mushroom that spawns actually homes in on Mario's position. There are a few 1-up mushrooms in the game that do that, which, I don't know, it doesn't make sense, but I'm thankful for it nonetheless. Alright, this area over here, since this has a bully, which is very inconveniently placed, I might add, can be very annoying. So, what do I want to do here? Because I think if you're on a... Oh. Hold up. Okay. Okay, Mr. Bully. That's how you want to play. I think we can roll with that, right, guys? Post in the comments. I think we can roll with that for the bullies. It still made me a little nerve-wracked, though. I don't know what was going to happen there. Oh, boy. So, this is an interesting platform arrangement. It goes up and down like a springboard, kind of. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting, but it's also kind of annoying because you're going to have to wait for it to get into a proper position of sorts. But, we're in the position after a little bit of trial and error. It's not too stinking bad. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about 100 coins in any of these Bowser levels. Could you imagine if you have to worry about that sort of thing? That would be pretty stinking annoying. Be very patient here with the rising and falling, well, the ebb and tide of the lava. And there's a red coin there, right next to the flamethrower. But it's not too bad to get because there's a health refill over here with this handy-dandy heart. which recovers more health the faster you run into it. I find it interesting, but it can be inconveniently placed sometimes. I think of the one that was earlier in the level. That one's a little inconveniently placed. Just like that. Oh boy. Okay, and let's get onto this pole because there should be a red coin on top of here. We're just gonna... Yeah, we're gonna do that. Alright. Can I just... Yeah, that'll work out tremendously, actually. Didn't know that was possible. We do want that one-up mushroom in case I die to Bowser, which can happen. Let's see... What do I want to do? Okay. Yeah, just a nicely placed double jump there ought to do it. I don't think you can long jump there. I think it's just a little too high for a long jump. Now a long jump should be okay, though. Yes. And we'll do another one. Woohoo! Oh boy, let me tell you, that could have gone south real quick. And hey, I got it the first try. I didn't lose any lives. Now I might lose a life. So say hello to Bowsy Wowsy over here. Round numero dos. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Spanish in this part. He's got a few new tricks this time around. He will jump onto the arena and make it move around, and if you're not careful, you can slip right off. It's also a little tricky to get a handle on his tail now, because he's a little bit more responsive to you trying to get to his tail, to throw him into the bombs. You know, get him to the edge, it really increases your chances of being able to actually make him connect with a bomb. But he keeps rotating so darn fast, it's really hard to get a handle on him. I'm trying to get him to use like a fire attack or something, and see if maybe he'll do that. He can do a charge attack from a distance, but I actually wonder if it's possible to get him to charge into a bomb by taking advantage of that attack. I doubt it. But that would be something else if he could actually pull that off. And I failed to mention it yet, but he teleports in this fight. He's still only one hit, though. So yes, this fight is more difficult technically, but as long as you can get the one hit, I mean, you're technically good. Getting Handle's tail, too far away from the bomb. Come on, get closer, Bowser. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's see if I can get him on the bomb! Boing! I got him! Oh, man. That dragged out way more than it had to. Bad Bowser, making this episode almost 50 minutes. Come on. Yeah, we'll consider it a draw because you don't get a star from him. You just get another key. Alright, we're gonna grab this key, guys. I hope you enjoyed this somewhat drawn-out episode, as next time we're gonna start on the top floor of the castle, which is actually the largest segment of the game. So, ta-ta for now. Hope you enjoyed all those free Spanish lessons and all that other stuff. Tú tienes un día bueno, courtesy de Lazuli. Woohoo! See you next time. Hasta luego!